Let's talk about the first black superhero to appear in comics. Lionman, legend and great writer Orrin Cromwell Evans, working for the Philadelphia Record in the 40s, an all-white publication, tried to negotiate with the company to expose these stories, which would exploit black excellence, in which then racial inequality would be preached. They weren't having that. And as black people, it was hard to be accepted in any type of space. So legends do what legends do. Evans then parted ways with Philadelphia Records, then teamed up with two former record editors, founded Negro Comics, and created their first 48-page book in 1947 of June, which the covers had color, which created an anthology series and featured many different characters. Lionman was one of them. Black characters which were drawn by white creators were always depicted as the stereotype, or drawn similar to an animal. Tarzan has been drawn in the comic strips since the early 1900s. White masculine men who were seen as a savior evolved in each era and became very popular characters, which led to their own solo series, and the evolution of these stories was venturing in the jungle to take out poachers or animals, and the way that these black characters looked were portrayed as savage or just plain ignorant. But with the focus of blaxploitation, Lionman's roots did become popular, not just from African ancestry, but through knowledge and wisdom. Lionman is a scientist who is affiliated with the United Nations, and together they watch over the Gold Coast region, and the area is filled with uranium, which can be formed to a highly explosive substance. And in this situation, it would create a deadly bomb. But here's the real reason what this is all about. A lot of people thought that Tarzan's inspiration was copied, just to make people feel who are non-white better. But Africa is a continent, and the history has always been there. But the number one thing that people really didn't like about Lionman was the fact that white men were getting beaten up by a black person, and they would win. Even though the first issue was published, when Evans tried to publish a second issue, distributors who were racist blocked all of his resources to prevent him from writing more issues. And unfortunately, the rest of the upcoming issues got canceled, and then white writers took over black characters because they didn't think they were being written well. Makes no sense. It was a real shame that this only lasted for a certain amount of time, because Orrin did take things into his own hands, and even though it wasn't the biggest shift in comics, he still wrote his own stories, regardless of all the hatred. Orrin Cromwell Evans went back into journalism before passing away in 1971, and he may not be known by all, but his small imprint will become bigger going forward in comics, because these stories must be told. And even though he may not be with us today, legends never die.